All right, so we're here. We're back at it. So while the notifications go out and everything, you guys already know how that goes. So all right, we already got some people watching. So as all this goes out, y'all already know the drill. All right then. So we got tonight Strong Arm and we got Film Goblin. So what up, y'all?
What up?
What up?
All right, so let's talk as we always do. So you want to start it off? Go, Strong Arm.
Uh, uh, no, yeah, well, y'all can go ahead.
All right, go for it. Film, go for it.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say thanks for having me on. Yeah, I just wanted to talk about the recent shit that's been going on with DC and with James Gunn and all this bullshit nonsense from his fandom, always trying to gaslight us into saying that we're not real DC fans just because we don't like that he's posting this whole bullshit about those Oreo cookies.
Yeah.
It's just like, seriously, who gives a fuck? That doesn't mean anything. Like, it's seriously, these like gun cultist fans, they just think like this movie's gonna be amazing, way much better than Snyder's, just because he posted some fucking, he's posting a showing that a pic of of cookies from like a fucking like generic comic that nobody even heard of, that
Right.
most people don't even never even read. What do you think about that, Strong Arms? Have you seen that post?
I haven't seen it. I've seen it. I've seen people sharing it. I never even really, I never even really did any digging. I didn't even know what it was all about. I'm just so like turned off like by the whole gun gun fanatics and their fuckery that as soon as I see certain individuals sharing and posting stuff, I already know that it's going to be some bull crap. So, but now that I know what it's about, I will comment on it. And um, the way that I feel about this is just it's simply the same individuals that said that they're quote unquote real DC fans, right? A lot of these there is some straight up gun cultists, but the ones that you see that are extremely, not all of them, but most of them, extremely loud and vocal and over promoting anything that James Gunn does now that he's involved, now that he's head of DC, it's the same individuals that are just slightly off their rocker. There's about 10 of them. Like, seriously, like, and I'm not being mean, like, they're not all the way upstairs. They're not all the way there.
Right.
And, they don't like Snyder's work. And they've been around for a while. And these are the same individuals masking themselves. And not now the new thing is now I'm a gun fan just because it's something else to throw in, Snyder fans' face. These are not real fans. Anybody that tells you that you're not a real DC fan because you're passionate about DC and the shit that you've paid for 12 years, them aren't our people. Them are just goofballs and knuckleheads on the internet that don't go away. They change their burner 24/7, their burner account. And then there is genuinely a couple of gun fans that came in when he was announced as head of DC Studios, and they're on the same bullshit. But even a couple of them I've spoke to, and they don't overly hate Snyder. They just they think that James Gunn's really going to knock it out the park, and I don't. I disagree. But I find them individuals actually more reasonable than the quote-unquote real DC fans that are now disguised as gun fans.
Right. It's pretty
Exactly.
wild. It's pretty wild when you think about this because, like, look, I put up a post today, and I was talking earlier with film about this. If you look at it, I know we've seen them many times. The Snyderverse and the DCEU before Hamada came in and anything changed, it was profitable. Leading up to Aquaman, the first one, of course, Zach was involved. Um, like it was just so much that if DC would have just allowed, WB would have just allowed, say, hey, Zach, do your thing. The same like Marvel has been doing with they did with Thor. The first Thor was good. The second one started going downhill. The third one was trash, and the last one was like, what the hell was that? But look at where they're at. They've built up to the Avengers, and now they're moving into phase what, 5 and 6.
Yep.
Um, if big if WB would have just said, you know what, we're not gonna dick around with you, Zach. You do your thing, you cook, and here's the keys. It was slowly. Remember, we had just got off from the Dark Knight Rises trilogy, so everybody's mentality was still stuck with Christopher Nolan. Nolan was tired. He was like, "I'm done with this. Here's Zach. He's gonna be, he's in good hands with you. Just let him do his thing." But then you have these snakes like Walter Amada, Toby Emmerich, all of these clowns. I'm starting to see and think, and I'm pretty sure that they're on Disney's payroll, and they were
Yeah.
like, you know what? We're gonna give you money under the table, but you cannot let Zach do what he's planning because we have something similar and we're gonna steal his ideas. And that's what they did. To the day of today, Zack Snyder's Justice League outblows the Avengers. I don't care what anybody says. The Avengers is a straight copy and paste of and from Zack Snyder. Zack played it so well that, remember, Batman was supposed to die in what it was, the whole trilogy of Zack Snyder's Justice League. But look at what Zack did. He thought ahead of the game, and I'm starting to think that he just threw bait and said that, and then last minute everything got changed. But then when you compare the Avengers, what happens? Iron Man is dead. And now what are they doing? Oh, we need back Robert Downey Jr. Let's bring him back, but he's gonna play a variant. Also, you still need that character. You get what I'm saying? But
Yep.
Zach and his universe, Ben Affleck, Batman is still alive. And it's setting up that whole nightmare timeline where it's like, yo, he straight up just like snuck it under them. Because remember when Kevin Feige was on set and Joss Whedon, then he was brought up on board. So it's like, yo, these rats are stealing your ideas. And what did they do? Took notes, ran with it, and of course they have the money and they put it out there. And this is where we're at right now.
Exactly. I agree.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Film God.
No, I was just gonna. Yeah. Well, I was gonna say, I don't think, did they confirm that he was a Robert Downey Jr. was a variant, because I think they said he was going to literally play Victor Von Doom.
Now they're saying that, yeah, he was supposed
Yeah.
to be a variant, but now they confirmed that, yeah, at San Diego that he is gonna be. So it's
Yeah,
like,
but,
what the hell's going on?
yeah, it's already seems like this is like already a confusion for a lot of people, and I just don't think I don't think that movie's going to be good though.
No,
I just don't see like what it is that they're gonna try to move like in a pathway forward and all that.
I think that the movie will be very, and again, I'm just trying to predict the future. I could be way off, but in my opinion, I can see the movie coming out down the road. I can see it having somewhat of a buried story that could have been great with fan service. I can see Robert Downey Jr.'s acting being on point because it always is.
yeah,
But I think as a overall movie and story, it's going to end up being a pile of shit with a lot of hidden gems in it. And it's just not going to be what people are really expecting from it. That's the vibe that I'm getting as of now. But at the same time, you got to I understand the situation they're in with the whole Jonathan Majors situation.
right.
They're really trying to get see, and this is one thing that Marvel does, and I got to give it to them. That us DC at Warner Brothers, because they're stupid as fuck at Warner Brothers. They're already thinking 3 years ahead, right? Minimum of 3 to 5 years ahead. Like
Right.
This situation pops off with Jonathan Majors, right? Okay. I mean, it doesn't matter whether the dude's right or wrong. The situation is what it is. We all get into these situations. Sometimes it costs us shit. So this situation pops off, and they're already 3 to 5 years thinking down the road. Okay, so now we've got to pivot now. And they're already like, fans wanted Robert Downey Jr. to come back to life as Iron Man, not as Doom, though.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is they're finding a way to bring back Robert Downey Jr. and bring him into a main fucking Avengers movie. So people that were wanting that to happen, No, are they super happy over the top? No, but some of them are, because they'll take what they can get. So to some degree, at least they still do and always have listened to their fan base. Now, do I see it being a great movie? No, because the situation's so sticky that they've weaved so many Easter eggs in prior movies to prop up King the Conqueror, played by Jonathan Majors, that I feel like no matter what they do, even 3 to 5, planning ahead as far as they have, I feel like unless the Russos are directing it, and like, I know the Russos are supposedly coming back, but I don't know if it's been confirmed that they're directing the Avengers Doctor Doom movie, right? With Robert Downey Jr.
No, not that. They're gonna do the Avengers, Doom, whatever that's gonna be called now.
Doomsday.
Right.
Yeah, Doomsday in the next one. So they're gonna do the same like Infinity War. So I guess like another Infinity Saga, which is cool. But now that you're saying, sorry if I cut you real quick, just because it's on the tip.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
You remember recently that the Russos were doing an interview with Zach, and they were like,
they praised Zach.
Yes, but remember what I said in the video. You can't trust them because they're still in the end Marvel/Disney shows. They were trying to bait Zach with pizza and say, hey, if you were to do Zack Snyder's Justice League 2 and 3, what would you do? In other words, hey, Zach, if you were to do the Avengers, how can we steal your ideas? How can we get your ideas of what you would do? And Zach didn't give him any answers.
He didn't. And you remember, C's, real quick, me and you were talking about this multiple times. I don't know if we were live talking about it, but just behind the scenes or chatting in general. And we talked about the striking similarities between Winter Soldier, which is, according to Marvel fans, one of the best fucking MCU movies there is, and Infinity War, right?
Mm-hmm.
Both of them movies, okay, and first of all, in Winter Soldier jocks off of BVS.
Yep.
Infinity War jocks off of fucking Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Yep.
Okay, so, and who directed both of them? Russo brothers, who also who also praises Zack Snyder.
Yeah.
And then they said,
are you talking about Civil War?
No. They didn't. No, the Russos directed Winter Soldier too, didn't they? Or no? Or was it Civil War?
No, yeah, it was Civul War that they copied BVS.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
Civil War. I was mistaken. Like I said, I'm not an MCU head. I've watched a couple of the movies, but yeah, Civil War, right? And the Infinity War and Endgame, right? That's basically, initially, Zach was only going to have Zack Snyder's Justice League 1 and 2 until right before the tragedy struck. It turned into 3. It was going to be three projects, right?
Yeah.
So who did we have at Warner Brothers at the time? We had fucking Jeff Johns, Joss Whedon, Emmerich, like all of them came from fucking Marvel, right?
Yeah.
So you got it. So they're definitely leaking this information, and I think that Zach knows that somebody was inside the studio leaking his plans. You know what I'm saying? And the fact that they are praising him, but at the same time, you're a what do you call it? You're an adversary. That's dangerous. Somebody that's your adversary and working for a rival company doing similar shit to what you do, looking up to you, because if they think your shit's the shit, they're gonna, and they've got inside people. If they could steal your shit, why would they not? And I think that Zach knows this and just is too classy to come out and say it. You know what I'm saying? And I think, and I've been speculated on this for a while about, there being inside sabotage within Warner Brothers when he was there. And I think that it was very telling seeing the way Zach reacted, like you said, when they were sitting down eating that pizza.
Mm-hmm.
And why would they ask him that? Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Especially knowing on camera, they're all live and millions of people are watching. Why would they do that?
Because they're snakes.
You know who I suspected this? It was Jeff Johns and Mark Waid, the comic writer of Superman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think he was gonna, before Man of Steel, him and Jeff Johns were gonna write a Superman script to reboot the character before.
I remember hearing that.
But then Warner Brothers decided to go with David Goyer and Chris Nolan's story and script.
Yeah.
I think they got butthurt about that.
And ever since they've been butthurt.
Yeah.
Right.
Now look what you
Yeah,
said
but
right now, T Flame. Check this out. Look at the comment that Year One Relics posted. That right there is fire. Like I'd never thought about that. That right there. Look at that. I find it weird that Marvel took that Doomsday title, knowing Doomsday is a huge chapter in Earth One, primary DC universe, and New 52.
hold on. I don't see. Only thing that's confusing me
Look, it's right there.
is I don't see anything. Oh, there we go. Okay, now I see it. All right. Okay. It's a huge chapter. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I've just read it.
That right there.
Yeah, that is weird.
But
That
it's
is weird.
interesting. But it's interesting because it's just like how you said it right now. Like if the competitor knows that they can go inside, steal your ideas, sabotage it, get away with it, and then
Wouldn't
come
you
out and
do it?
say, of course they're gonna do it. That's
No,
like saying
no,
McDonald's and Burger King.
Think about look at. I'm not even gonna come and look at man. I used to be like really hype about the shit. I'm more chill now. I mean, I can get hype, but think about it like this, man. If I worked at say I'm a CEO at fucking McDonald's, right?
Yeah.
It could be me, it could be you. See, it's me and you both work there. We're CEOs. We're big shots there, right? We got a boy. Say it's Jeffrey Warfield. We get that guy gets hired into Burger King, and he rises up the ranks with inside. He's not a CEO, but he's up there, right?
Yeah.
And anytime they get ready to come out with a new Happy Meal or a new burger, we're getting fed the information, right? How tempting would it be? There's no way that you would not use that and that would not influence you to make different decisions when you're coming out with new products, right? No matter whether you mean to or not. If you're getting fed that information, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you don't use it, the next guy in the company will.
And they will for sure.
I'm not blaming everybody within Marvel or Disney. And for the most part, and this is the problem though, we've been trailing behind Marvel for so long because the CEOs and the bigwigs at Warner Brothers are such shady pieces of shit that own the IP that us as just fans, when we try to say shit like this, the other fandoms look at us like we're insane. And it's just because they think it's just out of pure jealousy because we've never hit anything out of the park other than really, the Snyder cut as far as they're concerned. I mean, I disagree with that notion. So a lot of people, like the media, did their job back then. It was a smear campaign, and they did to the people that are in powerful positions. The excess media back in the day, they did a damn good job damaging Zack's reputation, his capability as a director. Not that they actually damaged his capability, but his reputation about his ability to tell story. They set a narrative that, he's got good visuals, can't tell a fucking story to save his life, and he can't tell a movie within this kind of runtime, so he needs 20 directors cut. And I don't understand how Warner Brothers in the beginning, when you have Christopher fucking Nolan, who is like at the height of his career, and Zack is like a good friend to him, and Nolan respects the hell out of Zack and his work. How is it that you don't protect Zack when he's making a product for you? And like the whole reason why Zack didn't go fucking hard and spin out like a whole DCU, quote unquote, is because they told him a general guideline of what they wanted, right? And they wanted to play catch up within like 5 or 6 movies. By the 5th or 6th movie, they wanted to be like where the fuck Marvel's at, right?
Yeah.
So Zack, it worked to his benefit because he's trying to tell a specific story that's strong and distinct and artistic, right? So that worked in his favor in a sense because he's like, well, I got to tweak some shit, but you know what I'm saying? But either way, you don't see Zack didn't start off without giving us a solo movie. And, then his second movie gave us Batman and Superman. Then, the end of it, we got a couple counts. Third one, boom, we're almost there now. If we would have got Zack Snyder's Justice League 2, we'd have been on the board, and everything would have went right, and they would have protected him and had us back the way they did with fucking Joaquin Phoenix and Todd Phillips with the Joker when that came out, and Access Media tried to come after that movie, then we'd be fine. We'd have been,
Yep.
if they would have done that, then they went after David as collateral damage because the fact that David was Zach's right hand man and the only director that literally respected the canon to a T that Zach did. Had Zach come on the set with him while he's filming to make sure shit's Gucci, and even had Zach shoot the Flash scene in the movie.
Yep.
Like,
It was dope. It was dope.
anyway, go ahead.
No, it's just crazy, man. Like, what do you think about that film?
Yeah, it's just it never really I never understood like why I was gonna say like why Geoff Johns was so against what Zach was doing when Zach was just basically trying to adapt his comics into live action. You know, it's like it just makes Geoff Johns sort of like a hypocrite and like a just two-faced because it's like why are you trying to make DC become like Marvel when you know for a fact like he knows that Zach was trying to use his comics that are dark and serious.
And this is why I say, real quick, this is why I say that it was a smear campaign and it was very well thought out by the Mickey Mouse. Because listen, because think about this, right? What is the biggest problem within the DC fandom, right? Is you've got people that are casual fans, and then you've got people that are hardcore comic book fans, right?
Yeah.
So when they brought in Geoff Johns, what they did instantly was they promised Geoff Johns basically if he goes along with the plan at the time that they'd make him the Kevin Feige. So he was there trying to roll and run the fuck over Zach. Period. Yeah. Because the studio made that promise to him, right? And then at the same time, the people that orchestrated this shit knew how much Geoff Johns at the time was beloved by hardcore DC strictly comic book fans. And soon as Geoff Johns got on some bullshit, I remember the day that he got put on blast by the fandom and how much it divided the fandom. And it was terrible.
Yeah. Now that you're saying about the smear campaign, let's look at it and fast forward time. History is repeating again with Rebel Moon. Now you have all of these trolls and all of these salty ones that they're like, yo, we have to stop Zach. Why? Because you can't touch him, because we still follow him. Now you have Netflix that's doing Rebel Moon 2. We just got the director's cut of it. And now we're getting Twilight of the Gods next month. And it's like you have Army of the Dead. It's a little bit of everything for everyone. You want live action? We got you. You want horror? We got you. You want animation? We got you. What's next? You see what I'm saying? So it's like, then you have people like Geoff Johns that, what was it recently that they were at some event, not Comic Con, they were at some event and they announced his comic. And yo, if you look at it, I wish I had the pictures now to show you. You could Google it. His character looks like a complete ripoff from Batman in the Nightmare timeline. Like it's some new company he's working with now. So it's like, okay, so
yeah, Ghost Machine.
Yeah, that's the one. He's still stealing from Zach. And then it's like you have Marvel that all this time things have passed, right? Let's be real. Ever since, what was the last one? Justice League from 2017 when everything went downhill, right? Okay. Zach hasn't been at DC since Justice League, with the whole accident and incident that happened. So 17, you have 18, 19, 20, right?
Technically, since before Justice League released theatrically, but yeah.
But since that moment, Marvel has had all this time. So they pretty much, they copied and they ripped off and then they milked and they gave us what they did with Infinity and the Infinity Saga, which was a very exact, it's a copy and paste of what Zach had originally. And then, of course, now we have the Snyder Cut that thanks to all of us, we have it. Remember when everybody used to say, oh, it's never going to happen. Oh, you guys are delusional, blah, blah, blah. And what do we have now? The Snyder Cut. Now, what my point is that all this time, Disney/Marvel were feeding and leeching off of Zach. Now, they're like, you know what? Let's do this interview with the Russo brothers. And let's bait Zach with a little slice of pizza, and then on top of that, let's see what he would have done with, with Justice League 2 and Justice League 3. Because if you look at that interview, just pay attention to the Russo brothers. They are snakes. They are trying to bait information. How would you do, Justice League 2 and 3? Because they need ideas so they can feed off of it, build off of it, and be the first ones to say, hey, we did it again. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Go ahead, film guy, but man, my bad, man. I feel like I keep over talking you, my brother.
No, it's all good. It's just so like, what did you guys think about those? Like these, I don't know. It's just these gun fans. They just like to keep like saying that. Oh,
Clowns.
like saying we don't know the comics just or the characters just because Gunn posted a picture of those cookies
They're
from
clowns.
one particular comic.
You know,
It's just stupid. Like they just prove that they don't really actually care about quality. They just care more about like these very like obscure, super fickle stuff. Like,
Yep.
it just doesn't like mean anything in the grand scheme of things. Like, I'm sorry, but it's just like, who gives a fuck about these cookies that Martian Manhunter likes in the comics? It's like,
right? No,
nobody...
I agree. Yeah, who who cares? It gets tiresome almost to a degree, beating a dead horse. But I'm telling you, these individuals, man, the back in the day, they Warner Brothers. The problem is, we didn't get, in my opinion, right, when they first came after Zack during BVS when it first released. This is before the Snyder Cut debacle. It was such a tragedy that it moved everybody, the way the studio moved, and then there was proof of it. You know what I mean? That everybody got organized. But I feel as if, which is, you can't change the past. If we would have organized and became a thing when BVS first came out, right? We could have changed the narrative permanently and fought back against it. They knew what they were doing. Like, they set a narrative, right? And the general audience, once they think something, they don't get on the internet 24/7. They don't see all this dumb shit. Maybe some of them do, right? All this infighting. But the problem is that Warner Brothers went with the least common denominator. And critics, they rolled right off of a couple of idiots that were haters on the internet when there really wasn't a fandom speaking up. We were just enjoying the movies. And you know what I'm saying? Nobody knew that the studio was so corrupt. Like, that, hey, we got to step in and we got to do this our damn selves, like, and make sure that they keep going the correct route and make sure Zach's straight. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, the narrative that was created, bro, like, it's so powerful and strong that, like, it's almost like all that Zach's got is us fans when it comes to the DC property at Warner Brothers, like, to defend his products, because all these gun fanatics are doing is repeating the mainstream media's opinions back in 2015. Still, just an echo chamber is what they are. And he's proved already with the Snyder Cut, he can tell a solid fucking story. His graphics, his special effects, always off the charts, but he knocked it out the park on another level with the Snyder Cut. He's done so much to redeem, but the problem is that I think that the general audience, they don't know what to do anymore. Like, you know what I'm saying? I think a lot of them know now that the access media was trying to pull a fast one, but I think that they're not as passionate as us. They're just sick of their bullshit and they're just tuned out for the most part. So they're banking on a couple of individuals that are actual gun fans that came from the Marvel side, and a couple of psychos that are real DC fans, and they've already showed what they're capable of. When the Suicide Squad came out, that motherfucker flopped so hard. So we've already shown Warner Brothers they're listening to the wrong motherfuckers. This is the fandom, and they alienated the real fandom. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And even your general audience, right? they came and they showed up all the way to Aquaman 1, right?
Yeah.
They came for Man of Steel, BVS, Wonder Woman 1. You know what I mean? Even Justice League, their first Suicide Squad, and then they showed up in drones for Aquaman because that was mainly us.
Yeah.
Jason Momoa has a lot of pull with the ladies. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
With the general audience. So he had dumb people, but he mainly won all of us over because when they were still saying the Snyder Cut was a pipe dream, he was out here publishing interviews with motherfuckers, proving them wrong and putting them in the. No, oh, you think Zack couldn't? Oh, okay. You think Snyder Cut ain't real? Yeah, okay, bud. Like he was doing his motherfucking thing, and he won the fans over and the general audience. And the fucking movies were already on an upward trajectory from Zack anyway.
Yeah.
In the 7 to 8, high 800 million range. So when his movie came out, we're still on that upward trajectory, and Jason Momoa pulls the ladies and wins the fandom over.
Big time.
Boom, $1 billion. Right?
And let's not forget that Aquaman had just came out recently after Justice League, so people were hungry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you know what I'm saying, and that's a big thing that people try to say. They the real DC fans, you can't. Zack didn't direct Aquaman 1. You can't put that in the Snyderverse. And I'm like, you understand that James Wan, that fucking and Jason Momoa said with the first movie that they kept it as close to Zack's script ideas for the movie and made some changes, which yes, there is some changes that are minute that break continuity, like fucking Mira's accent. It's just not there for no reason. Yeah. You know, you can tell that they injected. But that was the first movie ever, bro, Aquaman 1, where they first started really dicking with the equation and trying to make it like almost like Marvel. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, yeah, that was like the first time, like when Jeff Johns and I guess Hamada were trying to like distance away from. And so it's like I think over
they made studio mandates that they had to, but they kept them to a minimum the best they could. Jason Momoa did. And at some point, it's like Jason Momoa had to step back after the first movie came out and say, well, fuck, this is kind of out of my hands. Zack's been gone for years now. Do I want a job or not? Like, you didn't see him promoting Aquaman 2 as hard as he did the first one. He was promoting Aquaman 2 hard when Ben fucking Affleck was going to be there. And when they were going to do the full circle event and actually fucking give us Man of Steel 2 and restore the Snyderverse for a slight period of time before James Gunn took over. After that, James Wan and Momoa went silent till the movie came out.
Yep.
Exactly. They didn't even do a red carpet premiere for that.
Exactly.
It was a small little like gathering and stuff, so
yeah. And then now I was gonna say about the about James Gunn coming in. You notice how they recently they hijacked that Christopher Reeves Superman documentary.
Oh man!
Purposely just to do that, just so they can try to build hype for his Superman shit.
And you know what? And we all know what that is, and this is why it pisses off the fan base, because that was again the narrative back in 2015, 2016, right? The Access Media, the critics and shit, and Access Media, right? Their narrative. It stems too far away from Superman's origins and the Donner fucking verse, basically. That was their issue. Motherfuckers that were like boomers, like a boomer age, that were critics. There was a smear campaign, and that was the route that they really, they were bitching because Superman wasn't on screen saving cats out of fucking trees and shit. Like, literally, the gripes were so petty because we got a Superman that is living in the real world. I think that makes it more compelling to see him become that Superman eventually, which Zack was going to get to, but show this is real life. This is nowadays. This is fucking 40 years later. Like, you know what I mean? Like, how do you make Superman relevant? Because he's like everybody. Yes, his symbol is the most iconic. The merch sells, the S on the chest. But Superman as a character, once you leave the cartoons, as a live action, has not been relevant since Donner. And not even since the first Superman movie. Because the second one, They fucked, and this is the other thing that pisses me off to a lot of fans that don't understand this, right? They talk about, oh, Zack Snyder, this and that, and whatever, right? Do they not realize, the ones that are boomers, that are big fans of Reeves, do they not realize that the way that Reeves and Donner got fucked over when Superman 2 came out? And that there's a fucking Donner cut that took 30 fucking years to get released, missing special effects and shit, and then they pushed Donner out. They repeated history. They did the same shit to Donner that they did to Zack fucking Snyder. But everybody holds Reeves in such high regard, and I do too. It was great for the time. But think about what Warner Brothers has done. They've done this before. They've done this to Donner, your most prized fucking, oh, Superman should be like that. Well, you know what they did to your Superman that should be like that? They did the same shit to Zack. So why the fuck does Donner get a fucking, you know what I mean? Why does Donner get a pass and Zack don't? That's bullshit.
Yeah, because they pick and choose who, who's going to go and who's not. It's like how the Joker said in the 2019 movie, when he was like in that Murray scene, that he's like, it's like you're the ones that pick and choose who's funnier and who's not, and it's the same with this. They're like, okay, so right now James Gunn's in charge. Oh, big whoopee. I've been calling it before he even came on board, because I remember seeing a lot of channels, and now I'm getting hot about this because they were starting to switch over, like, oh, well, now James Gunn is here, things are about to change, things are going to get good and this and that. No, it's not. James Gunn sucks as a director. He sucks in overall in his work. And the only reason why he did good with Guardians of the Galaxy was because of Disney and them backing them up. If it wasn't for that, James Gunn wouldn't be nobody today. It just wouldn't. Because there's no excuses. Like I said, now I'm getting hot. Because the Suicide Squad, if it's a reboot, damn it, that shit didn't profit. But now you want to play the whole COVID and pandemic excuse, right? But meanwhile, while that movie's playing, you got No Way Home. Where is it? No Way Home, making over $1 billion, and people are crowded in that theater because they wanted to see quality. DC had so many opportunities. They could have brought in the Flash. They could have brought in all the Batmans from all the universes, just the same way that they did with Spider-Man. But did they do it? No. And again, time after time, they keep screwing things up. And it's like, yo, what's going on with these people? It's like they want to fail.
Yeah. That is how it comes off. It just trips me out though. Like, the main thing is like the narrative they set was that the Zack's Man of Steel, was too dark and too this. You watch Superman 2, the movie, right? And you can see that even Donner was trying to break new ground and slowly take even Reeves' Superman into a similar direction that Zack tried. And the studio instantly got in the way of that. You know what I mean? And that's why there is a Donner cut. And then they had a fallout behind the scenes. And then he was completely replaced and for Superman 3 and 4. And the movies fucking bombed, both of them. Then you fast forward, right? There might even, I don't know if there was a fifth movie. I've never seen it. There might be, but then you fast forward, right? And you go to early 2000s with Brandon Routh. Yeah. And again, they're beating down the dead horse. How many years has passed since Donner? And we're trying to literally say, oh, this is Donner still, but it's a whole nother mother freaker.
Yeah.
Right? He's coming back to Earth in this movie, right? They tried to use that the Donner and Reeves formula decades and decades later, and it did not work. So why would you expect it to work now? Why would you, now that we're in 2024, how does that work? It doesn't.
It doesn't.
And the fact that these fucking guys at this company that are old with these suit and ties, that's how you know they're fucking boomers or older. That they just keep beating down the Reeves, like even now. Oh, let's make a movie about Reeves and let's show how our Superman's going to be just like Reeves. You tried that with Brandon Routh's Superman Returns. It didn't fucking work.
And they said, and they did the same thing with The Flush. Oh, let's bring in Michael Keaton. That's going to help the movie. No, it's not, you idiots. That's not even the Batman of this universe. Ben Affleck is the Batman from this universe of the DCEU. Why? What is so hard for this dumbass company to continue what they've already started. Why do they keep on, well, we need Michael Keaton? You know what? At this point, I want to see in James Gunn's shitty DCU Michael Keaton again. You know what? Better yet, let's go back and let's bring back from the dead Adam West. I mean, shit, that would be great, because they can't move forward, but it's okay for them to say, oh, you guys need to move away from the Snyderverse. Oh, but you guys don't want to move away from Michael Keaton. You guys don't want to move away from all these old movies that have nothing to do with the current universe. They've never been there. So all of a sudden they want to tie it in like they did in The Flush and like, oh, you know what? Let's CGI all this stuff. Ridiculous.
And that's the thing, man. They go so drastically when they call themselves course correcting. They go so drastically left or so drastically right that there's no fucking middle ground. Initially, they went so drastically left because they were trying to appease the complaints of fucking excess media critics that were fucking boomers. Now they're going so far fucking right with James Gunn that they're trying to fucking please Gen Z, right? So everybody that's in the middle ground that's a regular grown adult, now you're trying to bring in a fucking a new crowd that doesn't exist yet of fucking youngins between 13 to fucking 19, out of nowhere. You don't have the reputation anymore to pull that off. Everybody knows all your fucking antics, how shady you motherfuckers are. The general audience don't give a fuck, and your hardcore fans are giving you the finger. It's dead on arrival. It just is.
Yeah, it's done. It's done.
Yeah.
It's done before it even starts.
And he's trying to post today about the whole Jimmy Olsen is getting casted in Superman now, as if that's gonna make a big draw for people to come see the movie. I'm like, no, it's not.
Look,
Jimmy Olsen, I'm sorry, it's never been that relevant of a character.
Yeah,
I mean, he's Superman's pal, but it's he's not that much of an importance than any other fucking side character to Superman who just happens to be his friend, in the Justice League or his childhood, Pete Ross. It's just it's just I don't get what they're. It's just all trying to. It's just bullshit fan service.
Yeah, that is not
to
even
a vocal minority.
There you go.
Yep.
The minority. They're the minority. We're the majority. Because look, this is what I want to talk about real quick. Now that you're bringing that up, because let's just say how it is. We were just talking right now, film. All right. How do we get these clowns? How do we get this circus back into action? Very simple. It's very simple, guys. You know how? We do the same thing to James Gunn and his quote-unquote DCU the same way we gave the end of the Hamadaverse, that VIP treatment in 2023. We gave it to Birds of Prey. We gave it to The Flush. We gave it to, Shazam. Unfortunately, Black Adam was part of it too. So, it happened. Whatever. We close our wallets. So everybody that's listening and you don't support and you're not down with what James Gunn is trying to do because you don't like his vision where he's heading, simple, close your wallets. That's it. That's how you win this war. That's it. I've had enough of all of these gun bros and everything that has to do with James Gunn. They tell us that we're the minority. No, we're not. We're going to get you at the box office because that's where you know what is what. That movie needs, let me repeat that, James Gunn's Superman needs to make over 1 billion. All right? If it's short by $1, it's a flop. It needs to make over 1 billion because if not, oh, you better be ready because we're going to roast you. We are ready to roast everything. And it's already being a joke since the start. Ever since Superman has been announced, it's been nothing but memes. And that's wild. I mean, you're starting off something and everything is nothing but a joke. That's exactly what this is. If you have the actress coming out and saying, what's her name? The one that's playing Hawk Girl. She's like, oh, this movie's going to be very funny and very comedic. That's it. Those are the key words. This movie's going to be a joke.
Right.
Yep. Sorry, it's the moment you say it, it's just that's what they said about Aquaman 2, and look how that turned out.
Yep. That's exactly what that is. And it's wild, and it's man.
It's just I don't even know anymore. You know what I'm saying? It's just they can try hard as they want. and keep trying to shove this shit down people's throats. Nobody wants this. Nobody
Nobody.
does. Nobody. You know, they had tweaked the DCEU formula so much, so many times that by the time the Suicide Squad came out, nobody wanted that shit.
No.
Nobody damn sure wants a full. And I know that James Gunn, under pressure, he already cracked and folded. We're already winning, guys, because
We're winning. There you go.
all I needed to know that we were going to win and this movie was going to flop was that James Gunn did what James Gunn does. Makes a movie with 1,000 fucking characters in it because he can't tell a standalone story. There's somebody that already plays a main character said that the movie's hilarious. So he's already caved in to his one-trick pony bullshit. So I already know this movie's going to be called Superman. It's Superman's going to take a fucking backseat in his own movie. Yep. It's going to be the same dick and ass jokes from the Suicide Squad rehashed.
Mm-hmm.
And I already know, like, I know the movie will make some money, but it's going to flop, period. Yeah. And as soon as I seen how shitty the suit looks, as soon as I seen 1,000 fucking in one characters, I couldn't even keep track of them all on my channel. Every time there was a new one, I made a fucking video. You know, the entire Justice League, JL fucking A, JSA, and fucking other characters that aren't even in them groups. And background characters of Superman. Like, you're talking over 30 fucking characters, like, in one movie. I know that that not only did he give in to his typical James Gunn fucking one-trick pony urges, that the studio had mandates for him. I know the fact that he chose David Cornsweet. They were trying to scout David Cornsweet back in 2020. When, you know what I'm saying? And there's proof of that.
Yeah.
So I know that he's not in charge the way that he's fucking pretending to be. And I also see the creative decisions he's decided. Now all we got to do is sit back and wait and do our thing.
Yep. That's exactly what's going on. And it's crazy because it's starting off so sloppy. It's supposed to be a Superman movie, right? So it's okay for James Gunn to have 1,000 characters in a Superman movie, right? But it's wrong, and it's not okay for Zack Snyder to have Wonder Woman, right? And maybe one or two extra characters in that movie of Batman versus Superman. Oh, that's a crime, right? Oh, that's a no-no. We can't do that, right? The same thing with Zack Snyder. Okay, you're gonna have Wonder Woman cut the head off of the enemy, Steppenwolf, right? To stop this threat. Oh, that's a no-no. But with James Gunn, you want to shoot? Go ahead. Kill a bird. Go for it. You see what I'm saying? It's like the hypocrisy of the studio has led them to where they're at. This is why the fans are so divided, you know? And like I was speaking earlier with Film Goblin, we were saying the following. The whole thing also, staying on the topic, but jumping off the topic, with Matt Reeves and his whole Batman. Look, okay. I get that there's a following and there's a fan base for that. But facts are the facts, right? Let's not forget, before Robert Pattinson ever appeared in DC, nobody knew that shit. That shit was hidden from all of us. But what happened? They were planning to do, let's go with the facts. Ben Affleck was going to be the Batman. We had saw that one clip with Joe as Deathstroke. When Ben released it, he was excited. I remember seeing that shit. I was like, damn, like that looks straight up like Arkham Origins from the video game at the time. And then I'm like, what the hell's going on right now? And all of a sudden, they're moving away from Ben. And they're like, you know what? We're going to bring in now Robert Pattinson. And we have now Matt Reeves. What? What the fuck? How you going to slide that under the carpet like that? And then all of a sudden, what happens? Matt Reeves is given the opportunity to do a Batman movie with Ben Affleck. He read the script. He loved the script. But he said, you know what? I'm just going to pass on it. How and why would you do that? Why? And this is why the studio's where it's at. If you have, I forgot who's the one that said that was the best script that they ever read. I know it was one of the guys that were in the inside. I can't remember right now from WB. He's no longer there. Okay, there you go. Jay Oliva. When he said how good that script was, and we've seen those drawings, the what it was, the drawings with Deathstroke and Batman in an animation. What is it, like a 2 minute animation? I'm like, yo, why didn't that go into production the moment they saw it? I would have seen that shit. I would have been like, yo, how much you need? We're gonna make that happen right now. But then instead, we have right now with Matt Reeves and boring Robert Pattinson. That movie was supposed to make $1 billion. Oh, it's gonna make a lot of money. Okay, I get it. You had a small budget, but it didn't make $1 billion. And the Batman 2, if we make it to it, because right now they're just dicking all the fans. They're like, you know what? We're gonna have them excited at San Diego Comic Con, and we're gonna build up, But most likely that movie's gonna get, hopefully, the Batgirl treatment. And why do I say that? Let me just say this and be specific. I'm gonna hurt and crush feelings right now. I get it. There's a fan following for Robert Pattinson, Matt Reeves, but I'm not interested in that. How come they can have that? How come James Gunn can have all his stuff and it's rated R, The Suicide Squad, Peacemaker, perverted adult immature jokes? That's okay, right? But when it comes to quality, what Zach was giving us, how come we can't have that in a separate timeline? But then all of a sudden in the Flash, you have this multiverse, you have that multiverse. Shit, you go all the way to Adam West. Oh, but where's Zack Snyder's timeline? Oh no, that's a no-no, right? We have to get away from that. You know what? As a fan, as a customer, as a paying consumer, I have every fucking right to close and
Yes.
keep my wallet closed. You don't deserve our money. This studio does not deserve a cent from us. That's why I am happy that they're at 6.66 in their stocks. You know why? Because we're the customer and we know what we want. Either you give us a Snyderverse or we're going to make you force to sell your studio. And that's where it's heading. If we keep this up, telling everybody, if we keep up with WB, their stocks keep on dropping, they are going to be forced, like Disney back in the 90s, to sell all their assets, all their IPs, mandatory, to help them stay afloat if they
Yep.
want to continue in this business. Because you don't keep giving the fans what they want, this is the outcome. We, the fans, will stop at nothing. And it's proven. That's why the James Gunn fans are nervous. So if you James Gunn fan cultists are out there listening, shake in fear because you know that we will stop at nothing. You told us that we wouldn't get the Snyder cut. And what do we have? The Snyder cut. You remember all those 5 years that we suffered and we went through their mockery. And what do we have now? The Snyder cut. The same way we got that, now we just finished with the campaign of release the Ayer cut. David Ayer came out himself. Jared Leto came out himself. They're pushing it. They're like, you know what? Yo, we need to do something about this. And what happens when you have the fans pushing and promoting? Everything and anything is possible. And that's what they don't want. They're scared of that. They fear us. WB is scared of us. They know that we, the fans, don't give up. They know that we don't surrender. And they know in the end, we're going to get what we want. Either you restore the Snyderverse and release the Ayer cut, or, surprise, we're going to make you forced to sell your studio. And somebody's going to continue, regardless, the Snyderverse, whether it's Universal, Netflix, hell, whoever, besides Disney, because we know that there's laws that Disney cannot own everything. So something is going to come from this. You see what I'm saying?
Yep. I got to get going soon, guys. So I'm going to close out and say this. The bottom line is this studio, unfortunately, they're hard-headed, they're misguided, and they should not own this IP. They've proved that. Yeah. But the only way to get them to listen is to show them that even with James Gunn and all of his fucking fancy pony tricks, right? When that Superman movie comes out, guys, if we don't have the Snyderverse by then, you just make damn sure that that movie specifically, you boycott the fuck out of it. What do I mean by that? Keep your wallet closed. I don't care if you're even a little bit curious just because you're a DC fan in general and you like Superman. Wait till that shit is on Pirate Bay and bootleg that shit.
There you go.
Do not put $1 in their pocket. And I promise you, they're going to be thinking real hard while Zach is back working on that 300 prequel about what should we do. If they don't lose the IP and sell by then. And that's what I got to say.
If we make that movie flop, just like Borderlands, they're gonna release it on digital like within like a few weeks. So it's like I'm not gonna waste my money to going to theater to see that shit. I'm also not gonna bother paying to get it on digital or physical either.
And you guys don't be surprised.
I'll just pirate that shit.
Remember we spoke about this. Don't be surprised as soon as they put the trailer for James Gunn's Superman that they're gonna disable the dislikes, they're gonna disable the comments, and they're gonna be like, you know what? Only select people can leave a comment. The same like Rotten Tomatoes is doing right now.
But you know what though? That I 100% know that they're gonna end up doing that. But see, here's the double-edged sword that's gonna come along with that. See, try to think about it like this. When they do that, the general audience and the critics are going to see people are not happy.
Yep.
And that's all that matters. The rest of the story, even if it's not known, won't matter until the box office numbers come in. Then that's when we go full fucking force, hardcore campaigning for this shit, bro.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
If anything,
when they put the trailer, you better get ready with those dislikes because we're going to come off hard.
If anything, we should do the opposite: is watch the trailer for Man of Steel and put likes for that. You know?
Oh hell yeah!
Show them what's actually getting more engagement.
Well, in the past, we have done shit like that in the fandom, and what they did was they ended up taking down the fucking trailer to Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Remember that?
Yes, I absolutely do.
That's
so
true.
yes, I no, you know, come on now, guys. I'm telling you, I've been around the corner for a minute, man. But I'm saying, I know you remember that, Cease. But look at though, that's still a good idea. I'm just saying that when they do that, though, don't get all fucking pissed, guys. Like, trust me, it's all like Heath Ledger would say, it's all part of the plan.
Yep. We're coming for you, James Gunn.
Exactly.
Oh man,
we're coming for you, James Gunn.
They already expect to know what we're gonna do.
That's why they're pushing. Notice how they're pushing now Supergirl, because I'm sure WB's right now worried and they're like, "Yo, this is not gonna be good. What do we do? Well, just delay Supergirl."
Hey, listen, guys, I want to ask you this real quick on this. This is something that I think I heard Tyrone. Before I go, real quick. So this is something that I heard Tyrone Magnus break down on his channel, and I thought about it, and it actually makes a lot of sense, right? So you know how there has been some comments and remarks from James Gunn that are legit that have been floating around the internet where he's talking about having diversity in the Superman movie, some sort of hinting at some sort of like girl power, virtual signaling, and all that shit, right?
Yeah.
He didn't go into how much is going to be in the movie, but there is comments that are out there that are legit, that ain't fucking fabricated, where he has said that, correct?
Yeah.
Isn't it strange that the next movie to come out in the DCEU, live action, not animation, is Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow? So here's what I think is happening, and I'm not going to take credit for this because I heard Tyrone Magnus speaking about this. What if this Superman movie, he's going to test the water on multiple fronts, right? And his failsafe is, if it makes some money but not a lot, but it gets high critical approval, is to instantly pivot into Woman of Tomorrow and make Supergirl the Superman of the DCU and go full DCEU.
Yep.
And replace Superman, and Superman's on a journey finding himself for like a fucking ton of movies, or lost in the fucking Phantom Zone, or gets killed or replaced by Bizarro.
Isn't that what Hamada was going to do?
Tell me that doesn't make sense.
Most likely, yep.
Isn't that what Hamada was going to do?
Exactly. That is what Hamada was going to do. And think about this. What else was Hamada going to do? Cast David fucking Cornsweet as Superman in 2020 and 2019?
Remember that?
And guess what James Gunn did? Act like it was totally his fucking idea, when there is legit reports from Variety from 19 and 20 saying that the studio was secretly scouting David Cornsweet to replace Henry Cavill in 2019, bro. 2020.
Yeah, I remember when people were posting that too, and they were trying.
So imagine that's the route that he goes. If it fails, then guess what he's going to do? He's going to go full fucking woke bandwagon with it. That way, they have protection from us, the fans. Because then we'll have the woke mob coming at us. Oh, you have a problem with women? Oh, you have a problem with the alphabet community? Oh, you have a problem with gay black woman or you know what I'm saying? Like that's the route they're gonna fucking go, bro.
But then why would they also cancel Batgirl?
They canceled Batgirl because of the fact that the plan was during that regime when fucking The Rock was the hierarchy of power is gonna change, right? He wanted to help, but The Rock was making his own making the universe make room for him, right? He was going to get a JSA sequel and a sequel to Black Adam. He was going to have Zachary Levi recast and have a different person playing Shazam because he doesn't like that cocksucker, okay? On top of that, he was going to bring Henry Cavill back, and at the end of, and he was going to help Henry Cavill get his Man of Steel 2 made with Zack Snyder in some kind of creative role, maybe not directing though. At the end of the movie, there was going to be a cameo of the two of them about to face off, right? Yeah. Then Zack was going to eventually get, I don't know, you know what I'm saying? In between that, his Crisis on Infinite Earths, he was going to tweak his vision just slightly because his Snyder Cut 2 was basically going to be that anyway. But he was going to tweak his vision to incorporate more characters, which was going to be a multiverse of the old Batman, which was fucking Michael Keaton. Ben Affleck was going to be lost in the Nightmare Apocalyptic timeline, and that was going to speed up the events so that instead of getting a Justice League 3, we were going to get the whole shebang in Justice League 2, but it was going to be renamed Crisis. But we were going to appease both sides, the regime in charge, The Rock, and us Snyder fans. That was what full Final Crisis was about. That was what the tease was about with the turkey on the dark side that Zack Snyder put on a bureau and said, thankful, and had that book in the background. Okay? And that's why during the campaign, you had Darkseid coming out basically saying this is not a drill, like be there this date. But then before the actual Full Circle event, they pulled the plug on it behind the scenes and just hadn't announced it until fucking James Gunn did when we were doing the Ayer cut fucking push.
Yep.
That is why all that shit went down the way that it did. We were this fucking close to getting the Snyderverse and the Ayer cut released and the fucking the Batman, the Michael Keaton director's cut of what was it, Batman Forever? No, one of the Batman movies. I can't think of it right now. Got him in my brain. The Schumacher cut, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a video out right now from somebody that has to do with the Schumacher cut, like a creative, and said that literally they were this close to getting a green light. The studio was talking to them. You can look this shit up on the internet, guys.
I think I did come across something like it was real quick.
They were about to release the Ayer cut, release the Schumacher cut, and they weren't gonna let Zack come back and do a whole bunch of shit. But he was gonna come. He was gonna be involved creatively for Man of Steel 2. We were gonna get a more upbeat Superman, but Snyder was gonna be there to make sure they didn't deviate too far. Yeah, and then Snyder was going to helm the Snyder Cut 2, and it was gonna be long as shit. And it was going to be slightly tweaked, but mostly what it was intended to be, but just incorporate their characters as well.
Yeah.
Boom. That was what it was, bro. That's what it was all about, bro. And Batgirl had to do with it because Michael Keaton and Ben Affleck, because Ben Affleck's Gordon was going to be in that movie. Ben Affleck was going to be a hidden thing where there was going to be a cameo at the end of that showing again Ben Affleck being lost. Keaton's Gordon was going to be in there, and Ben Affleck's Gordon was going to be in there, and Michael Keaton was going to be her Batman. Michael Keaton was going to get his Batman Beyond movie, and all this was going to somehow tie into the Final Crisis movie and bring everybody together. And Zack was going to not only direct his shit, but he was going to incorporate more characters, dumb characters, and it was all going to tie together real nice and neat.
It was gonna be epic, yo.
So that is why they canceled Batgirl, because the fact they changed plans instantly when James Gunn behind the scenes and Peter Safran took over the company. They wait months and months to announce that shit to the public. When that happened behind the scenes, they pulled the plug on all that. That's why they canceled Batgirl. They canceled his Batman, Michael Keaton's Batman Beyond movie. And that is why in Aquaman 2, they cut Ben Affleck's Batman from the movie because that was also going to tie into Final Crisis initially.
Yep. It was going to set everything up. I remember that. Remember, Aquaman 2 was going to release before The Flush. And then they put The Flush before Aquaman 2. And then James Gunn comes out and he's like, oh, I just didn't want to, like give false hope to like something we weren't going to do. Yeah, right, motherfucker. You already knew that you had the plans that you weren't going to move on with, with what Zach had. Like he already knew. That rat knew exactly what he was doing since the beginning. And he executed it well. Okay, that's fine. Yeah. Okay, but you know what? Next year, we will get you at the box office because you can't stop us there. And that's where we make the win.
We're coming for you, James Gunn.
We will stop at nothing.
All right, guys, I got to bounce out of here. Thank you for having me, too. Nice talking with you, Film God. Everybody in the chat, nice seeing you guys. And till next time, my friends.
Yep, you already know it. Appreciate you, bro.
For sure.
All right. Anything else you want to say, Film, before we get going? I'm about to wrap it up, too.
Yeah, it's just like I agree with everything you said. Just keep your wallet closed, show them who's boss, and just show them that we mean business.
Yeah,
get the Snyderverse restored.
Yeah, that's why.
Don't pay attention to all this stupid nonsense that the gun cultists always keep saying. Oh, you're not real DC fans, and all this shit.
Mm-hmm. That's what this is where. Let's clarify this. We are real DC fans. They're the fake DC fans because they want perverted, immature, stupid type of comedy, jokes, immature, anything that has to do with what Peacemaker and the Suicide Squad is pushing and promoting. That's what they want. That's what those fake fans want. We're the real DC
want everything like MCU.
Yeah, and worse. It's like
it's
no.
Worse, yeah.
It's like what we're doing, we're fighting, and we will stop at nothing until we get what we want. Because in the end, we are the paying consumer. We are the fans. And damn it, we're going to win the same way that we won for the Snyder Cut.
Exactly.
But yeah, so you want to say anything else before we go? About to wrap it up in a few seconds.
No, that's about it.
All right, cool. Well, I appreciate you being on the channel. I appreciate everybody for watching. It was a good chat. We needed this. This was something that had to be talked about. And, like straight up, they know it, and I'm grateful for everybody for being here and all that good stuff, So, we will stop at nothing. Let's keep going. Let's keep growing. You guys already know the motto, and keep posted. So, hope everybody starts off to a good week tomorrow. Put all the negativity to the side and do your thing. But we'll be back in the week and stuff like that. So,
Yeah.
Everybody else,
thanks for having me on.
I appreciate you. Have a good one, and we'll catch up in the next one.
Yep.
All right. Peace.
Peace.